Well, thank you so much, Commander Jess Porter.
Jess, I go by Jess.
Okay.
My mom calls me Jessie.
Well, thank you, Captain Porter, for
Right.
being here today and taking the time out to speak with me. It's really an honor to have you here.
Right, thank you.
And I know there's been a lot of information about the commissioning of the USS Illinois, but I wanted to know a little bit more about your background and what inspired you to join the Navy.
What inspired me to join the Navy? So, my brother had gone into the Navy a couple years before I got out of high school. And when I graduated from high school, I did not have the funds to go to college. So I was looking around, and my brother, I guess, inspired me to look at the Navy as a career opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And so how did it feel when you joined the Navy and decided to take this on as a career path?
I would say I wouldn't talk about it as a career path decision, more of a, hey, it's time to get out of town. Because when you're in a small town in southeast Idaho with limited number of skills, you're looking for a lifeline. Mm-hmm. And the Navy was that for me.
Mm-hmm. And what types of skills and characteristics do you think have made it possible to maintain being in the Navy for a career?
I would say I'm pretty competitive, and being competitive gives me a lot of drive, and that competitive drive has driven me to study hard, work hard, achieve as much as I can, and as a result I've benefited from that.
And I know earlier today you spoke with the Barrington High School, and
right.
I'm sure you were speaking to them about what it's like to have a career in the Navy and to serve in the Navy. Mm-hmm. And what type of advice would you give to any of those in the audience that were interested in joining the Navy?
So I would say, and just not just in the Navy, but I would say for high school or young people to really knuckle down and do the hard things that you don't think you want to do right now. Like, take the hard math courses, take the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics courses, because those things are going to benefit you whether you're in the Navy. They will definitely benefit you in the Navy, but they're also important outside the Navy.
Mm-hmm. And when you speak to students or people that are interested in joining the Navy, are their perceptions of what it's like to serve in the Navy different than what it is like to serve in the Navy?
I don't know about in the Navy general, but I think there's a lot of misnomer from old World War II films on what it's like to serve on a submarine, thinking it's a claustrophobic tin can-like environment, and it's really not. Mm-hmm. We have quite a bit of, I won't say it's a lot of space, but the space is very well used and utilized, and it's ergonomic. So every volumetric space on the ship has a function, and it's packed with equipment, it's packed with berthing, it's packed with all the necessary things for us to do our job. How
has that technology improved over time, especially with the USS Illinois? How has it helped to keep you safe?
Right, so the technology, the speed of computers alone has enabled us to shift away from tube and mag amp technology when I first came in the Navy, and then that went over into the transistor technology, and now we're into microchips. And the fact that we're able to get off-the-shelf technology has enabled my guys that come in the Navy who have been using those same screens and computers to have a interface with our equipment that is very similar to what they've been using out, whether they're playing games. Mm-hmm. Right. So that similarity in the interface between gaming and interfacing with operating, whether it's sonar gear, fire control equipment gear, whether it's the reactor equipment, that interface and the background the young people have coming in is very useful.
And can you tell us a little bit about how you help promote, or how the Navy helps promote positive teamwork when you're in a submarine? Because that's a completely different environment to be in than most people will ever be in.
Right. So on a submarine, our lives rely on each other. We don't have a fire department to call on. We don't have a hospital that we can rush to. So everything on board has to be useful, has to be efficient, and we have to be able to rely on each other. So I can rely on my doc to know that if he has to take out my appendix, he can do it. I have to be able to rely on these guys, if I have a fire, that they can get to it in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. So that camaraderie and that closeness that a submarine has builds that
level of
level of trust.
That's really incredible because, like I said, you know, the majority of people in this world will never experience what it's like to be on a submarine, right. So it's a completely different environment. And like you said, you have to have a complete and total trust in each other.
Right.
And I know in June, the USS Illinois will be christened, and then in December, it will be officially commissioned to the Navy. How has this experience been, you know, personal to you?
So this is my second time. I went through the process with the USS Missouri, but it's a different process when you're the captain, when you're responsible for the delivery of a ship. But I can tell you that my job is easy because of the people that I have. My job is easy because I have leaders that see what I need them to do, and they just go do it. Mm-hmm. And then we have a partnership with the shipyard that enables us to build a submarine very, very efficiently, get the testing done in a manner that delivers the ship in a great fashion.
And you're part of the testing process too, then?
I have guys on board right now doing testing. They're in shift work, working 24 hours a day.
And any ideas on where the USS Illinois will be stationed in the world?
Right, so eventually, once we get delivered, we're scheduled to change home port out to Hawaii.
Okay.
That's where we're scheduled to go, and I expect that to happen, but that has not been final approved by the Secretary of the Navy yet.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, and it's really an honor having you here, and thank you for your service.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.